What's up, everybody? It's Zach with Claw Collect. That's the new name of the channel, and we are going to be restocking our machines today. We're going to be doing a collection video, restocking. We got Pokeballs, 3-inch. We got Knobby Balls. We got little Pokemon plush, keychains, and other such things as that. So it's going to be a 1-week collection on all three of these machines. One of them is in a really good location. The other two are in mid-tier, I guess you could say, locations. One of them, of the three, is the first time I am collecting on it at a kind of a small Hispanic restaurant. So we'll see how it does. Not a big restaurant, so we'll see. But this is going to be a 1-week collection on all three of these machines, and we're going to be restocking them. So come along with me. It's Claw Collect. I'm Zach. So everybody, it's Zach here, Claw Collect. I forgot to film my first location. I'll pop a picture up here of the location. It's inside of a restaurant. And our location, that specific one, did about $320 last week. It was its first week on location. This is its second week on location. And it did $220 in play money this week. I can show a quick snippet or a picture. I'll pop a picture in here of the money bag that I put the money in, and maybe even I'll pop a picture in here of the money kind of stacked in groups of 50s or something, just as proof. I'll try to remember. I keep forgetting, where this YouTube channel is kind of new, to film the next two collections. Both of them are at Mexican restaurants. We'll see how they do. So everybody, it's Zach here, Claw Collect. I forgot to film my first location. I'll pop a picture up here of the location. It's inside of a restaurant. And our location, that specific one, did about $320 last week. It was its first week on location. This is its second week on location. And it did $220 in play money this week. I can show a quick snippet or a picture. I'll pop a picture in here of the money bag that I put the money in, and maybe even I'll pop a picture in here kind of stacked in groups of 50s or something, just as proof. I'll try to remember. I keep forgetting, where this YouTube channel is kind of new, to film the next two collections. Both of them are at Mexican restaurants. We'll see how they do. Claw Collect here, Zach. Wanted to talk to you guys while I'm on my way to my second location about really something I've loved about claw machines. And I'm pretty new to this business. We've been doing this for our first two machines. Mini claw machines have only been on location for 2 weeks now. My third one I placed last week, so today will be its first collection. But 3 weeks, and one thing that I've loved about it is the psychology of the claw machines. You know, putting the more expensive toys on the edges and on the bottom, or where they're visible but not as easily winnable. And then you're putting your cheaper toys like the Pop-It wristbands, the cheaper plush, and the Knobby Balls, things like that on top, and making those more easy to win. We even had one worker at one of our locations hand us back 5 or 6 prizes in order to get the one prize she was trying to win. My point is that one prize she really wanted, she ended up spending $7, $8, $9, maybe $10 for that one prize. And I got back those other prizes that she didn't want because she just didn't want them, which is also really nice of her because she doesn't have to do that. And we have no agreement that that's the way it is. So I've really enjoyed the claw machine logic. I've always been a fan of psychology anyways in my personal life, reading psychology books. So the logic of claw machines has been fascinating, to be honest with you, and just the way you control settings on the machine in order to drive profits, pay out more prizes, all that kind of stuff, the LG and V settings, the strong claw, weak claw settings. And I'm going to be doing some posts, maybe some videos, talking with ChatGPT on giving ChatGPT certain scenarios that it then tells me what I should do with my settings based off that scenario. So there'll be scenario videos coming out in the future, which is something I've never seen any other claw machine YouTube channel do. So hopefully that'll provide some value for you and give you some maybe techniques, because personally for me, and I did a short just a few days ago advocating for the use of ChatGPT to grow your claw machine business, is that it has done a really fantastic job on helping me dial in my settings on my claw machines by telling it what the cost of my prizes were, what my payout ratio was, and what my target margins were. So, you know, with claw machine business, a lot of operators and owners, they want to make a 50 to 65% profit on, you know, their claw machine business. That's very doable if your prizes are being bought at the right price and if your win ratio is at the right setting. And the only way your win ratio will be performed accurately is if your strong claw, weak claw, and LG and V settings are correct on your mini claw machine. So you may put a payout of 1 in 6 or 1 in 7 or 1 in 8, but if your strong claw, weak claw is not appropriately tuned for the prizes that you have purchased and put inside the machine, you may not get the performance that you were expecting your machine to do. My hair looks awful. Sorry about that. Anyways, we've been tuning our machines. I really feel like I got it dialed in. My win ratio and my payout is accurately being done. So I'm happy with that. And I give some credit to that to, number one, Xtreme Vending on YouTube, though he doesn't upload anymore, hasn't in a while. But Xtreme Vending with an X, Xtreme Vending, he was awesome. David, he's still alive, doing Kenichi Claw and other such things, but he doesn't upload anymore, but his channel, YouTube channel content is still up. Highly encourage you to check him out. Also, the Howard Hospitality Group on YouTube is another shout out. Here's their channel right here. I'll post a picture. They have been very helpful in helping me to set up my machines, tune my machines, and just their wisdom has been a great help as well. Far as where I'm buying my prizes at right now, that is a big problem for me. I did not expect all this to fall into place kind of as quickly as this business setup did. And as such, I'm still waiting on my best price plush to come from China. Otherwise, Amazon generic 4-inch, 2 to 4-inch plush, Amazon emoji keychains. Also, my local Dollar Tree has some name brand toys that are about $1.75 a piece, which is, again, it's way too expensive. So my margins are not nearly as good as they would be, i.e. my profits, if my toys were already here from China, from Alibaba. And I'll post some links down below on where I bought my toys from on Alibaba, because there's specific dealers that a lot of the claw machine world in America has all used and speaks very highly of. So then you can buy with confidence when you use these dealers that I also used, and Xtreme Vending uses, and the Howard Hospitality Group uses, and many other YouTube channels that I've learned from. And because it's worked for them, I would buy from these people too on Alibaba, where my toy costs are now going to be from there, anywhere ranging from 50 cents to $1 a toy, that are much nicer than what I would be paying $5 to $6 for here in America. Same toy, way cheaper. And that's 50 cents to $1 shipped from China. Problem is dwell time, waiting for it to get here, which can take about 2.5 months. I'm still not expecting my truly good priced toys to arrive from China until early March. So that's a big issue. I'm getting ready to buy 3 more machines this coming Wednesday. That'll put my total up to 6 machines. And I'll be placing one of them, 3 new machines Wednesday. I'll be placing one of those Wednesday afternoon, which means I'll have 2 new machines to be placing come next week. That will put me up to a total of 4 claw machines on locations in a matter of 3 weeks. So I've had a lot of success so far with restaurants. That's really where I've profited the most from getting claw machines on site, is family owned and operated restaurants, locally owned. I was in some negotiations with my local Texas Roadhouse, which I know these corporate places are pushing us homegrown vendors kind of out the door. But, they're not totally giving me a no. They just need to talk to their management above them. They had some negative, the local Roadhouse to me had some negative experiences with previous vendors mishandling money and not doing what they should have been doing. So they pushed those vendors out, and then their corporate said, just get rid of the vending. But I've come to them with a partnership proposal to partner with me and the National Children's Cancer Society, where our machines would be able to, make the money that they do, and then we would donate a portion of those profits every single month in cooperation with Texas Roadhouse, giving us the location to place those machines, so that Roadhouse and us as a business partnership could sponsor and then get some money donated to the National Children's Cancer Society, which is obviously a very worthy cause. In fact, I highly support that. I had family who had cancer when he was a teenager in middle school, so I've seen the battle with cancer. I've had family who've had that as well, and I also work as a nurse in the medical field full time, so I'm very aware of what the struggles that disease can bring, especially for children. And I would love to be able to donate to that cause, help them out. So, fingers crossed that we can get into Roadhouse. But here we are. We're about to pull up to my second collection location, a local Mexican restaurant. Let's see how we did. All right, guys, we're here to the local restaurant, our second location. Let's jump in here and see how we did. This is a 1 week collection. Have some 5s. And there was a big key machine here, but we've kind of rearranged it. Got the gumball coming in, and now we've got the claw machine here going on. Usually a few quarters coming in there. We'll jump on the machine up top here in a second, and we'll see how we did on.
Trying to get this settled up so that I challenge.
It's 1 week, 433 coins, 20 payouts. All right, there we go. We'll get it stocked up here in a second. We'll move on to our third location. What's up, guys? So you just saw me collect at our second location, a Mexican restaurant. And last week that restaurant did about $80.25. This week that same restaurant did $108.25 in the off season. This is winter time. The holidays just happened, so people's pocketbooks might be a little tighter, and just about every business has a slow season. I've done Airbnb investing. I've had 3 Airbnbs in my hometown. They did really well. I work as a nurse. I've also invested in ATM investing. I have an ATM, and now we've got these claw machines. So side business stuff, I've loved it because I understand 12-hour shift work, and I do not want to give up more of my time than I already am, and to make more money. And so these more passive streams of income, obviously it's not totally passive, because here I am on my day off from my nursing job, driving around, getting stock, toys. I'm also, filling these claw machines. I'm collecting the money on those claw machines. I'm doing all of those things. So, it's not totally passive, as it were. So you kind of get the idea that this is not what they make it out to be, as far as, when anytime somebody tries to sell you on totally passive income, it's just not true. But, sorry, I'm at a yield here, and I have a state trooper behind me. So I'm trying to be as perfect as possible. But passive income's never really that passive, no matter how people try to sell you on passivity. Airbnbs are definitely not passive income. That's highly, highly active income. And of course, there's things that you can do to make it more passive. For example, within the Airbnb world, I could use AI technology in order to respond to my guest messaging by just pre-drafting messages that I could have sent to guests when they book with me. So that helped to cut down on a lot of guest interaction. But here there isn't a lot of passivity in the claw machine world. or vending in general, outside of paying people to do this for you, which I've only got 3 claw machines. They're all within 35 minutes of where I live, so I can definitely manage these myself. And to be honest, I'd like to push this up to, you know, 10 or 15 claw machines in my local area, and then just do this route once a week. You know, one of my locations has been so positive that I've actually, you know, my new machines I'm buying on Wednesday, I'm going to put a second machine at that location, as the owner of that location has given me approval for a second machine. So that's what I think I'm going to do. You know, we've had to restock that machine twice a week. You know, within a 7-day collection, I'm stocking it once, going back 3 days later to either collect or stock on it again. And then at the 7th day, that's whenever I, you know, do another collection. So twice every 2 weeks. Twice a week, sorry. So, you know, if your location's needing refilled twice a week, probably should put a second claw machine there if you can get it in there, if the owner approves it. And with these mini claw machines, what I've loved is they're so small that it's just not that hard to get owners to say yes. You know, I've tried to sell people on full line vending. That's hard. I've tried to sell people on ATMs. That's niche, more niche than this. I've tried to also do credit card processing, had zero luck in my area with selling credit card processing. And I'm not a bad salesman, just that takes a whole lot of trust on the part of the business owner to let you handle their processing. This is the most success I've had selling, and you're not really selling anything, but getting owners to work with you is with these miniature claw machines. At every one of my locations, I am paying a percent to the owner. So at my best location, I'm paying 20% of the net profits to that owner. At the other 2 locations I have 3, I'm paying 10% of the net profit to that owner. So that's where I try to stay, in the 10 to 20% range, ideally paying nothing. But, you know, if I was a teenager or a young guy, a kid, maybe they would let me have locations for nothing. But I'm not, so usually they want a piece of the pie. And that also helps you sell to get into these good locations. For example, with Texas Roadhouse, I was offering them, you know, 15 or 20% of the net profits, and I would have went up to even probably 30% if I could get that. If that was the hang up, was that the profitability margins, I would offer more for a location like that because it would be so strong. But I don't know. I doubt that corporate is going to allow me to get in there. Not because we wouldn't service them well, not because we wouldn't be at their beck and call if they needed us to be, but because, you know, there's risks for them. They have a brand image to uphold. And so I get that, I understand that, I respect that, I see where they're coming from. And if they say no, they say no. You just keep looking for the next location, which is what I'm going to be doing the next 2 days. I may even take you guys with me tomorrow and Wednesday. Today's a Monday. Today is Monday, the 19th, 20th of January, something like that. But the next 2 days, I'm going to be hunting for locations so that my machines I'm getting on Wednesday, I hopefully have places lined up where I can get them put in next week. So my whole goal is to collect today, shop for or hunt for locations the next 2 days, pick up 3 machines on Wednesday. One of those already has a spot. So I need to find 2 new locations for these next 2 claw machines, which means I would have a total of 6 machines on location in 3 weeks. So if you're new to the channel, go back and watch my first video that I just posted last week, long form content, 5-minute video on how to secure new locations for your claw machines. And maybe you'll find some benefit from that. Anyways, thanks for tagging along. Let's get to our 3rd location. Claw Collect, we're here at our 3rd location here. Let's see how we did. Just left our 2nd location. Open it up here. Let's take a peek. Right out the gate, I'm pretty happy with the performance here. This is at a smaller Mexican restaurant, so I wasn't sure how it would do. But I think we did pretty well. We're going to jump in up top. We're going to try to
check our numbers again, and let's see how we did. So set you back up there for just a second. We're going to check our coin net. This one's a bit more stubborn. Corn that looks good. Get our door shut here.
Pick you guys up here with me. Let's look at our machine. Of course, our basic settings, pretty standard stuff. Here's my probability. Had it on a 1 in 5. Let's go ahead and bump that to a 1 in 6. It was 1 week on location, so when I put it on my first week, I typically have that win ratio up. Here's my current parameters based off the toys that I have in there. The reason I have the win ratio up the first week is because I want people to win. I want people to love my machine. I want them to enjoy it. So for week 1, this is the performance. You divide that number by 4 with a total payout of about 9 to 10 prizes. And it almost looked like somebody would have won the key. There's the master key for the prize up here, which is a Valentine's Day minion. So this is location number 3. I'll see you guys in just a second. What's up, everybody? It's Zach here with Claw and Collect. We just finished at our 3rd location. Our first location, we did $203 for a 1-week collection. At our 2nd location, we did $108 for a 1-week collection. At our 3rd location, we just did $56 for a 1-week collection. So our total money collected today for our 3 miniature claw machines in my hometown was $367, I believe it was, around that number. Mathematics are hard here, and I've got you on video, not my calculator. So anyways, thank you for following along with me. We refilled our machines, we cleaned our machines, we collected on our machines. I brought you along with me. Again, if you've enjoyed this video and content just like this, please subscribe down below. We'll be doing a lot more collection videos. I'm going to be getting some new locations in the next couple of days, and I'm going to be fishing 4 new locations to place 2 new claw machines that I'm getting ready to pick up this Wednesday. So thank you again for joining. Hit that subscribe button down below, and thank you guys for following along. I appreciate it. See y'all later. Bye.